Today, we're going to talk about sense hunger. So, sense hunger is, we'll just think about your five senses, right? We have sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch. Um, so, some examples like when you, for sight. So, if you're dinner and done, but you see somebody else eating chips or popcorn or ice cream, and so then you kind of, we struggle with maybe wanting to have some as well. For smell, if you're not physically hungry, but you smell like pastries fresh out of the oven and you just start craving them and wanting them. For hearing, maybe you hear somebody popping popcorn or you hear a steak sizzling and it can kind of, feel irresistible. Taste, maybe one bite to taste ice cream or cake or something, and then you just keep wanting more. Or a touch, like if you're passing the bread or passing some other food across the table and just kind of touching it, seeing it makes you, want more. Um, in these situations, it's important to kind of, acknowledge that it might just be because of your senses. And ask yourself, Dinteo, do I really need this eating opportunity? Was I hungry before I saw, smelled, tasted, touched, heard, whatever food it is, and really take the time to do some reflection, because the more aware we are of what we're doing and why we're doing it, the more empowered we are to make changes and do things differently. Because if we keep doing the same thing over and over again, we're going to keep getting the same results. And most of us are here in this group for some support to change our behavior and do things differently. And that can sometimes take a little effort, but it's so worth the effort. So some action steps, some things that you can do if you're like, oh my word, that's kind of something that I'm struggling with. Or especially this time of year in the holiday season that you're like, I know I'm going to be in this situation and I'm going to see things and smell things and maybe hear things that I'm going to want. How can I kind of, work through that and give myself the tools and strategies I need to handle those situations differently this year? Rewatch the videos on eating out, social events at parties, travel. I believe it's in the travel video that Alana talks about the push-off method, and that can be huge because you learn and you can make a priority list. Like, these are my priorities. Like, I really don't want to miss this holiday season. And then, I'm going to do this at this party and I'm going to have this at this meal. And really prioritize, because maybe it's not everything that's at every event that you have to have or try, but you can really kind of like, I'm going to have this here and this here, and kind of make yourself a little plan. Brenda had posted, and I believe it's in our files in the group, that tracker for like the holiday parties. And that can be a great tool to use to do just that. And of course, track everything that you're eating. Like we talked about yesterday, add in some little details in there, when you're, if you nibble it, scribble it, but also go in and be like, you know what, I kept eating while I was cooking, and tasting led to more eating. Or I was putting food away and I was just eating it because it was there and I was touching it. And all of those things, then maybe you have a learning day and the scale's gone up and you're got to go back to your tracker and be like, what happened? And be like, oh, you know what? This happened. And then you can have that learning, and bringing that awareness to what's going on is really part of To Be Mindset. That's so empowering, because you are learning and you are able then to see from that and learn and grow and change and shift your behaviors and your thinking. So that's sense hunger. If you have any questions or anything, go ahead and throw them in the comments. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about emotional hunger.